To survive, Tun had to swallow his pride. He took a job teaching forex beginners at a tiny firm in Seoul. It was a daily torture session. Students, full of hope and ambition, would quote his old videos back to him, completely clueless that they were talking to the very king whose downfall they discussed in hushed tones. "Man, that guy was a legend," one would say. Tun would just force a smile, a hollow mask covering the gaping emptiness inside him. He was a ghost haunting his own past. His best friend, soon, was his rock. He never left his side, constantly offering support, suggesting they were built slowly, carefully, the right way. But Tun's pride was a wounded animal, snarling at any suggestion of caution. He didn't want careful, he wanted a comeback. A fast, explosive return to the top that would shut everyone up. Then, the trigger. He was scrolling through his phone one evening when he saw it. A picture of Adora, his ex, in Dubai. She was standing next to his old broker, the one who had dropped him the second things went south. She was draped in diamonds, smiling a smile that felt like a personal insult. In that instant, something inside Tun didn't just break, it detonated. He swore an oath to himself right then and there. He would rise again. Not just for success, not just for the money, but for pure, cold revenge. Fueled by this new, dark energy, Tun started searching for a way back in. He found it in Kola, a flashy nightclub owner with a reputation for loving high-stakes risks. Kola saw the fire in Tun's eyes and made him an offer he couldn't refuse, a massive amount of capital to trade with. But there was a catch, a single, non-negotiable rule. Win big, and win fast, Kola had said, his voice smooth but with an edge of steel. Tun, ignoring the tight knot forming in his chest, the little voice screaming at him to be careful, agreed without hesitation. His life instantly became a blur of caffeine-fueled nights and glowing computer screens. He was back in his element, staring at charts, analyzing patterns, willing the market to bend to his will. And for a while, it seemed to work. The charts finally started moving in his favor. Green numbers stacked up. Profits multiplied at a dizzying rate. Kola was ecstatic, publicly praising Tun, calling him a genius reborn, prodigy making his triumphant return. The whispers started almost immediately, spreading like wildfire through the Lagos trading community. The FX King was back. Old followers, the same ones who had abandoned him, started trickling back into his orbit. Some even had the nerve to beg for forgiveness, claiming they'd always believed in him. Tun soaked it all in, tasting the sweet, intoxicating flavor of power once again. He felt invincible, like he was finally reclaiming his throne. But soon, ever the cautious one wasn't celebrating. He was watching from the sidelines, and he noticed things. Strange transactions in the accounts, trades that didn't quite add up. He saw how Kola was pushing Tun, urging him to make huge, risky trades right before major and stable news events, something the old Tun would have never done. Tun, high on his success, initially brushed off Soon's concerns. But a seed of doubt was planted. He decided to confront Kola, questioning the aggressive strategy. Kola just smiled, a calm, unnerving smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Don't worry about it, my friend," he said smoothly. "I always protect my money." The words were meant to be reassuring, but they sent a shiver down Tun's spine. That evening, unable to shake the feeling of unease, Tun decided to dig deeper. He started reviewing the withdrawal records, tracing the flow of money. And that's when he found it, the truth, the sickening, heart-stopping truth. The profits weren't real. They were faked. It was all a sophisticated illusion. Kola had a developer who had manipulated the trading app's interface. The app showed massive, incredible profits to impress existing investors and, more importantly, to lure in new, unsuspecting victims with the promise of guaranteed riches. The comeback, the praise, the adoring followers, it was all a lie. Tun wasn't a reborn star. He was the poster boy for a scam. He was the bait. His blood ran cold. The realization hit him like a physical blow. He wasn't in control. He had never been in control. Kola owned every single decision, every trade, every supposed profit. Kola could expose him, ruin him, and destroy what little he had left at any moment. Tun felt a terrifying wave of powerlessness wash over him. He wasn't a king. He wasn't even a player. He was a puppet, dancing on strings soaked in greed and fear, performing for an audience of one, his fate held entirely in the hands of his master. He was trapped.